Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Diego Dario. Watch the game live and our past episodes on demand on the Pilipinas Live app for just 99 pesos a month. Available for download on Google Play or the App Store.
Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Well, the Samang Basketball ng Pilipinas has yet to officially announce the final 12 players who will represent the country in the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup. Key players have already been identified, and we have basketball analyst Coach Norman Black to talk about who could play crucial roles in this Gilas roster. Coach, I know everyone's obsessed about the final 12, but there will always be members from that 12 who will probably do more than others. And I think those are who we're going to focus on right now.
Yes.
We're talking a bit off the air about how the Wings are going to have a very long tournament, considering the athleticism present in the FIBA Basketball World Cup this time around. Amongst the Wings of Gilas Pilipinas, who do you think that we should talk about the most here?
Well, I think the two guys that stand out the most will probably be Ramos, who is normally playing a lot of minutes. At least he has been in the preseason. He's been playing about 25, 26 minutes a game. So he would be one main guy that would man that three position for us, the small forward position. And of course, Malonzo of Ginebra. He's going to be a mainstay as far as getting minutes and being able to use his athleticism against some of the players we're going to go up against.
Coach, when you talk about Dwight Ramos, what can you see with this game that will, have an impact in this FIBA World Cup?
It's interesting. He's much more athletic than you think.
Right.
I had a chance to coach him with the national team for a little while, and he's quite strong. And he's a legitimate 6'5", and maybe 6'6", so he has some size on him too. So he can actually match up with some of the wingmen we're going to go up against, at least the 6'5", 6'6" wingmen we're going to see.
I want to pick your brain, Coach, because Jamie Malonzo, typically, at least here locally, we think that he's a guy who can defend 1 through 4.
Yes.
Might be a bit tougher in the FIBA stage, but how do you see him defending here for Gilas Pilipinas?
Well, even though it may be tough, it may happen because he may have to be out there at the 4 position sometimes, just so we can start to switch some of these pick and rolls and be able to switch the pin downs and keep matched up and we don't get left behind. So he's going to have to play some 4 maybe. Now, there will be matchups where it's going to be difficult. Maybe Angola, he might be able to play a little bit of 4. Maybe the first game against Dominican Republic is going to be very, very difficult for him to play the 4 because they have some size on them.
Yeah.
Coach, when you talk about athleticism, how important is that in a FIBA World Cup where, we're playing the best of the best, the most athletic players around the world? And for the Philippines, that's not really our main weapon, being athletic. But when you have a guy like Jamie Malonzo who can, play in both ends of the floor.
Well, athleticism is a good thing.
Yeah.
I always look at that when I'm recruiting players, but at the same time, there's something to be said for fundamentals and being able to be a fundamentally sound player. So athleticism is not everything. No matter what you say, as athletic as Malonzo is, he's going to go up against some guys in this tournament who are more athletic than him. Same thing with Ramos. And, you just have to use some of your fundamentals to make up for the fact that you may not be as athletic as some others.
A lot of people, when they take a look at the international game, have been starting to focus more on the wings, but then the bigs have becoming a bigger part of international basketball as well as of late, especially with guys like Markkanen and Jokic doing all these things. And our big guys now have to deal with those types of guys. You have Kai Soto, AJ Edu, Jumar Fajardo, Jampet Aguilar. Coach, you take a look at the bigs. What do you think should stand out for these guys going into this World Cup?
Well, that is one of my biggest concerns going into the tournament, the fact that a lot of the teams that we're going to face, their bigs are actually wingmen. If they play in the NBA, they're actually out there shooting 3-pointers or they're making moves from the perimeter, moving towards the basket or setting pick and pops, and that's what they do for a living. In our case, our big men are really big men. They really act like big men, they play like big men, so they're going to have to make some adjustments as they go up against some of these big guys we're going to face. But at the same time, it just means Edu, Japet Aguilar, they're going to be main players for us in this tournament.
And Coach, let's try to keep our focus here on Kai Soto. Actually, Aaron Black talked to us about
Who's
Kai
that guy?
offensively yesterday. But when you talk about Kai Soto defensively, Coach, what are you seeing with him and how he's going to be anchoring that defense for Gilas Pilipinas?
Well, we talked about it a little bit the last time I was here, but my major concern would be the drop defense. You know, how are we going to defend their pick and rolls? Whether it be in the middle, which will probably be the most difficult to defend because it's in the middle of the floor. They can go left and right, and they can actually space down or they can space to the side, whatever it may be. So how are we going to utilize our big guys? Will they be able to just handle the guards coming down the lane? And who's going to pick up the big man if that is the case, if he pops, if he dives? So how Kai and Jumar handle the pick and rolls is going to be very, very important, or how Coach Chuck Reyes, you know, comes up with the philosophy of what he wants to do against the pick and rolls is going to be very important.
You know, you mentioned Junmar having to deal with the switch. I remember just watching the San Miguel series against Bay Area Dragons in particular, when they attacked Junmar over and over again to the point that they had to take him off the floor. If you're a Junmar Fajardo coach, how does he stay on the floor when teams start managing to take advantage of that drop defense of Gilas Pilipinas?
Well, what he doesn't want to give up are the jump shots.
Yeah.
In other words, the guy coming off taking a 17, 18-footer wide open because he's backing up on the play. He's dropping.
Right.
So he has to have the ability to stay maybe level with the screen, at least for a moment, to slow down the guard from attacking him immediately and pulling up for that jump shot, and then back up afterwards as the guard starts to move forward. That'll give his teammate, the other guard, a chance to get back to his man, especially if they're not going to switch those screens or they're not going to show hard on the screens. His teammate's going to have to get back to his man to release him back to the big. And the weak side defense is going to be important. Who's going to catch the big as he's going down the lane? So that guy from the corner is going to have to come over and help defensively. So, you know, there's a lot that goes into a pick and roll defense, whether it be from the middle, whether it be from the side, whether it be going baseline. There's a lot of action you have to really execute.
That was the one question I was really excited to ask Coach, because it was the most intricate one.
Yeah, that's definitely something to look forward to in the World Cup. So we talked about the wings, we talked about the bigs, Coach, but let's talk about a guard named Scotty Thompson.
Yeah.
He's healthy, he's been playing great in the practice games. What can a Scotty Thompson bring to the international stage, Coach?
Well, I actually love Scotty. I know he wasn't a point guard when he was in college, but he did average a triple-double in college. So he's been doing this for quite a while now, handling the basketball, running his team, being able to score. But more importantly, I think what he brings to the game is defensively, he's pretty solid, even though he's only about 6'1". And he's very, very good at rebounding the basketball. That's going to be very important because we're going to have our hands full. Even in our first game against the Dominican Republic, I mean, they have some legitimate, good big men on their team. So we're going to have to be able to have our guards get down there and get a little bit dirty and get in there and get some rebounds for us, because our bigs will be busy just boxing out.
We always talk about, when we talk about guards, we always end up talking about Jordan Clarkson. Obviously, we got to talk about Jordan Clarkson. And there was the friendly that we did lose against Montenegro. He had a lot of the shots. In fact, he was the only one to average, to have the attempts up in double figures. But Coach, just how important is it to make sure that it's not just a Jordan Clarkson show offensively for Gilas Pilipinas, because he can't win a game by himself?
Well, what I've seen from Coach Chud is that Jordan's going to play a lot of point guard. So the ball is going to be in his hands. So he does have control over whether he shoots a lot or whether he handles the ball and be able to distribute to his teammates. So he does have control, and he has the experience, and he has the talent, and he has everything going for him right now. He's going to be one of the best players in the tournament. There's no question about that. Now, how he can blend the chemistry with his teammates is going to be very, very important.
Well, don't go yet, Coach, because we still have you after the break. We'll find out the critical points Gilas Pilipinas needs for a victory in the FIBA World Cup 2023. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back, you're watching The Game. We've heard about the final 12 of Gilas Pilipinas for the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023. And now let's talk about the critical points the team needs for a victory against Dominican Republic. And we still have Coach Norman here. Coach Norman, what should we expect from this Dominican Republic team? It's going to be a very important opening game for Gilas Pilipinas, Coach.
Well, we talked a little bit about what we're going to do defensively
Right.
against their pick and rolls and et cetera, or what we're going to do against them. But there are other areas that we have to really focus in on too, because I'm really concerned with Towns.
Right.
I know he's a 3-time NBA All-Star and he's Rookie of the Year and first pick in the draft in the NBA, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But he does things that we have to be concerned about. For instance, turn the pick and roll around. He's the one receiving the pick
He's
and roll.
capable of doing that, yeah.
Which means that he's coming off that screen and he can shoot threes, so you have to be able to step up on him. Now the guard is the one popping for the shot. So that's something that we don't normally see with bigs, but something we have to be concerned about in this tournament. And from what I've seen with the Dominican Republic, they run a lot of split offense, where they get the ball to the big at the top and they run off of them, and they get a lot of split posts, and we're going to have to be able to defend that well in this tournament. But the last thing would probably be Towns trailing.
Yeah.
And the reason why I mention that is because he likes to trail, he likes to shoot threes, he thinks he's the best shooting big man in the history
He
of
said that, yeah.
in the NBA. So that's something we have to watch out for also.
You sound like someone who doesn't believe that, Coach.
No, I believe it.
But
He may be watching.
yeah, he may be watching. You never know. He could be in his hotel watching. So you take a look at Karl Anthony Towns, and a lot of focus is going to be on him. But he is not the only danger person Gilas Pilipinas has to watch out for. Who do you think Gilas will have their hands full with, apart from Cat?
I'm a little bit worried about Quiones and Figueroa. I haven't seen the final lineup for the Dominican Republic yet, by the way, but
Yeah.
in case those two guys are there, they're two big-time scorers.
Right.
They can score the basketball. They're very, very aggressive. We're going to have our hands full trying to slow them down and then trying to worry about Cat at the same time. So those are two guys. And even their point guards are very quick and very talented. They're pretty good three-point shooters, so they're also going to be guys we're going to have to worry about. I would say in our group, Italy probably is the favorite, but the Dominican Republic, they have a very good team.
They're very underrated, I think, this Dominican
Yes.
Republic team, Coach. I mean, you mentioned Quinones and Figueroa, both NBA guys, not really seeing a lot of limelight, but they're young guys who are trying to prove themselves in the world stage, Coach. Who do you think should be matching up with these guys? Of course, we talked about Karl Anthony Towns being matched up by our bigs, but when you talk about Quinones and Figueroa, who should match up with them?
Well, our lineup hasn't been turned in either, so
Right.
I don't want to overstep, but I think Malonzo,
Yeah, I think he's a
Ramos
good
will
guy.
definitely have to be up there as far as being able to guard the wingmen of the other teams. What's more important for me is what happens with our bigs. Do we switch some of these screens and keep Joppet
Right.
in front of some of these players, these wingmen coming off? Because he is capable of moving his feet and staying in front of guys. So that's the philosophy that the coaches have to come up with as far as the defense is concerned.
We're talking a lot about defense here, Coach, because obviously we're all wondering and curious about how we're going to stop Cat, how we're going to stop some of the wings here of Dominican Republic. But then, how are we going to score, Coach? How do you see Gilas finding points consistently against this Dominican Republic team?
Well, this is why I mentioned this about Scotty earlier and his ability to rebound the ball. Because when you get guards that can rebound the basketball, they normally rebound and push.
Right.
And that's what we need to do. We need to control the defensive boards, get the ball up as quickly as possible. Don't let them set their defense if possible. Get off the best available shot. In other words, don't come down trying to control the ball, trying to run the shot clock out. No, we've got to get the ball up quickly, try to get some fast breaks, some easy layups if possible, and get some easy scores off of their defense before they can set up their defense. Once we do that, or we don't do that, once we get up the court, then we normally run a dribble drive. I expect a lot of middle pick and rolls coming from us, and dribble drive, and whether we can beat these guys off the dribble or not remains to be seen. But if we can, then that's how we can get our bigs involved, either off of pops or dives or maybe drop passes.
Oh, that's such a great point, Coach. Talking about going in transition, the guards getting the rebounds, because Filipinos love that style of play also, like running up and down, getting highlights, easy layups, Coach. But when you talk about Dominican Republic as a whole team, Coach, not individually, what can you see with their play style? Are they, do they shoot a lot of threes? Are they fast up and down?
Well, I saw their wingmen as being very aggressive. their guards, they have 3 guards all around the same size,
Right.
6'2", 6'3", that are very talented, very aggressive.
Okay.
And we know Cat can be very aggressive. You got to understand, Towns has been playing with Gobert
Yeah.
in the NBA this past season.
Correct.
So he kind of adjusted and moved to the 4 position. He doesn't have to do that now.
Right.
I mean, I know they have Delgado on the team who's also a strong center, but he can actually play inside and be dominant. So, those are the things we have to be concerned about.
Well, the Dominican Republic, as we all know, already in the country, the photos have come out already of the Dominican Republic training here. And in fact, Kat has already posted messages in Filipino on his social media account. But Coach, you take a look at the fact that it's such a warm welcome for them here. They're going to be in a strange environment in the Philippine arena. You know how it feels to be in the hostile end of a Philippine arena crowd.
Yes.
Yes.
What can they expect once they play Gilas Pilipinas at a Philippine arena where there's a hope of 50,000 plus fans at the venue for opening day?
Yeah, we're hoping to break a record
Yeah.
as far as attendance is concerned, and we want to get as many people in there as possible to support our Philippine team. At the same time, once the game starts, the game starts.
Yeah.
So everything's on the basketball court already,
Yeah.
so the
Right.
fans don't really have. It's not like Ginebra where they can dominate the crowd with 50,000 people, cheering for one team. Everybody will be cheering for the Philippines, obviously, but at the same time, the game's going to be won on the floor, and I'm sure that the fans will be out there affecting the game as far as the motivation for the Filipino players are concerned. But at the same time, Cat is Cat.
Yeah.
Right.
And some of these guys are very talented, so it's going to have to be one on the court.
Coach, you've coached in all different levels, college, professional, and international. What makes the international game so different from, all the other
Yeah.
coaching stints that you've had?
I just love the fact that the players are representing their country.
Right.
I had an opportunity to represent the USA one time in a tournament in Venezuela when I first got out of college. And that was just a great experience to wear the USA
course.
across your chest.
Right.
And there's just no better feeling. I'm sure the guys who tried out for our national team are very proud to make the team, and those who didn't make it, I'm sure they're very proud to have been there and been considered. So it's just international basketball. It's FIBA basketball.
Right.
I mean, I constantly watch it nonstop
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah.
Because I love to see, us go to Italy or we go to Turkey or wherever it may be and watch how they play basketball
Right.
in their part of the world.
Coach, this may be the last time we see you on the show before the FIBA World Cup actually does start. So right now that anticipation is building up, the teams are now here. How excited are you as a fan? Because I know you're a basketball nut, but then
I'm a fanatic.
Yeah,
There's
you're
no
a
question
fanatic for
about that.
sure. But how excited are you for this World Cup in particular, and being able to be up close covering some of those games as well?
Well, I'm excited for my boss, MVP. Of
course.
He's the one who's actually sponsoring this, basically, and
Right.
he's the one that brought this here to the Philippines. I'm sure he's excited. The people around him are excited. I mean, we're on the world stage right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching basketball here in the Philippines, so it's something to be proud of. Everybody will know about Filipino basketball when
Right.
this is over, and our love for the game. So I'm really enthusiastic about it. I can't wait to do some of the games.
Yeah.
And be out there on the court.
Coach, we really appreciate you being here, and don't worry, you are a lot better than Aaron when on the show.
We
Saying
said that
Yeah, we're saying that
yesterday.
yesterday. I've been saying it today. But Coach, really appreciate you. Can't wait to see you at the games.
Thank you, guys.
Coach.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So after the break, I'm sorry, Aaron. We'll hear from Coach Eric Spoelstra on Team USA's preparation for the FIBA Basketball World Cup in Manila. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. back. You're still watching the game. After Team USA touched down in Manila, assistant coach Eric Spoelstra held an elite basketball clinic at Kerry Sports. Marty Bautista spoke to the two-time NBA champion as he gave an update on Team USA's preparations and his excitement for the NBA players to experience the Pinoy fans.
I feel like we're ready, but we understand how challenging it is. These are the best countries in the world. It's truly become a global game. That's the beautiful thing about it. The game now is in every region of the world. The popularity is incredible. I'm excited for our program to see the enthusiasm for basketball and our team here in Manila. I've tried to explain it to everybody, but unless you actually come to Manila and really experience it, it's tough to articulate that. And we've only been here for 24 hours, and all the players now understand what I was talking about.
Meanwhile, Pinoy fans can now wear their puso on their sleeve with official FIBA Basketball World Cup merch. In addition to the official website, the specifically designed gear and apparel can be found at the fan shops of the different game venues. FIBA World Cup merch will also be on sale at the official hotels NAIA Terminals 1, 2, and 3, as well as various Toby Sports branches around Metro Manila. Good news for fans watching the games live at the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023. Fans attending the opening day games at the Philippine Arena can enjoy free shuttle buses from 12 convenient locations. The 49-seater premium buses will run services from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. with departures every hour. Ticket holders can select their pickup spot and time through the QR code provided by simply showing their tickets upon arrival. After the game, buses will return fans to their initial boarding point. Fans can enjoy watching the games live at the Smart Araneta Coliseum and the Mall of Asia Arena until September 10. And that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Diego Daria.
Catch us weeknights here on One News and on the Pilipinas Live app, where you can watch us live and our past episodes on demand for just 99 pesos a month. Available for download on Google Play or the App Store. I'm Paulo De Rosario, and this has been The Game.